Hey there, do you ever feel like you're just drowning in repetitive tasks? Well, you are in exactly the right place. In this explainer, we are going to break down how you can use AI automation to get back more than 10 hours of your work week. Seriously, let's dive in. Most people hear AI and think of it as a fancy search engine, something you just ask questions. But that is barely scratching the surface. The real, honest-to-goodness power of AI for your business isn't just in answering questions, it's in actually doing the work for you. That's automation. Now look, automation isn't some brand new idea. We've had traditional automation for years, but it's kind of dumb. It just follows a super strict set of rules. If A happens, do B. AI automation, totally different ballgame. It can actually think. It understands context. It can create brand new content. It can handle all the messy, complex stuff. So what's the result of using this new, smarter kind of automation? We're talking about saving a full day of work every single week. This isn't just about being a little more efficient. It's about completely changing how you and your team spend your time.
So, how are we going to get there? Here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with the big promise, then I'll show you how to find your own opportunities. We'll walk through 5 really powerful real-world examples, break down the simple logic behind it all, cover how to do it smarter, and finally, talk about what the real goal of all this is.
All right, let's get on the same page. When I say AI automation, what do I actually mean? Simple. We're talking about using artificial intelligence to handle the tasks that aren't just mindless clicking. We're talking about the stuff that, until now, needed a human to read something, understand it, and then create something new. Okay, so where do you start? It's way easier than you think. Just think about your typical workday. Here's the golden rule. If you find yourself doing the same kind of task over and over and over, that right there, that's your #1 target for automation. Does any of this list look a little familiar? Yeah, I thought so. These are the classic time sucks in almost every business. We're talking about managing that never-ending inbox, writing reports, trying to summarize meetings, sifting through resumes. Guess what? Every single one of these can be streamlined with AI. All right, let's get practical. Let's dive into our very first use case, and we're starting with something we all struggle with, the email inbox. So picture this. A customer fills out a contact form on your website. Normally, you'd have to stop what you're doing and write a reply. But with automation, an AI reads their request, it understands what they need, and it drafts a perfect, personalized response. All your team has to do is give it a quick once-over and hit send. And you can do this with tools you probably already have, by connecting things like OpenAI to your Google Workspace or Microsoft 365. Okay, use case number 2 is a lifesaver, especially for managers. Think about it. How many hours a week do you lose just sitting in meetings, and then even more time trying to type up what you all decided? Well, with automation, you just record the meeting. The system automatically transcribes the audio, and then the AI works its magic. And it doesn't just spit out a giant wall of text, no way. It pulls out the key decisions, it extracts the exact action items with names assigned to them, and then it emails a short, sweet summary to everybody. That right there can save a manager hours every week. Let's switch gears and look at another area that is just buried in repetitive work: human resources. Specifically, trying to find that perfect candidate in a giant pile of applications. So instead of a recruiter manually reading 200 resumes, their eyes glazing over, an AI can scan that entire stack in just minutes. It pulls out the important skills, it scores every candidate against your job description, and it hands you a ranked shortlist of the best people. It can even whip up some personalized interview questions based on what it found in their resume. It's a game changer. All right. This one's for all my marketing and sales folks out there. You know the constant pressure to create good content, right? It's a grind. But what if you could build your very own content factory? See, by creating some smart prompt templates that capture your brand's voice and style, you can have an AI generate first drafts for pretty much anything. LinkedIn posts, blog articles, product descriptions, you name it. This literally turns hours of painful writing into just a few minutes of quick editing. And for our last big use case, let's turn our attention inward. How do you answer all the common questions from your team or get new hires up to speed without constantly being interrupted? You build an internal AI assistant. You just feed it all your company documents, your operating procedures, training guides, HR policies, the whole shebang. And boom, you've created an internal expert. Your team gets instant, correct answers 24/7. It's so powerful for training and just making things run smoothly.
Now, I know this all might sound complicated, but honestly, the logic behind every single one of these automations is incredibly simple. It's a four-step dance. It starts with a trigger, like someone filling out a form. That kicks off an AI process, like generating a proposal. That creates an output, like a new Google Doc. And finally, that causes an action, like sending you an email. Trigger, process, output, action. That's it.
And this chart right here, this is why we do it. The return on your time is just massive. On the left, you see the huge amount of time you spend on manual work. But with an AI-assisted workflow, your job changes. You're not doing the grunt work anymore. You're just reviewing the final product. The time you have to put in just plummets, and your team's productivity goes through the roof. But, and this is a big but, to do this right, you've got to be smart about it. Let's quickly run through the common mistakes to avoid. Number 1, don't automate a process that's already broken. Always have a human in the loop for review. Make sure your prompts are standardized. Pay close attention to data privacy. And for goodness sake, make sure you're actually measuring the return on your investment. Avoiding these traps is everything.
So let's wrap up with a single most important idea here. This is not about replacing people. It is about elevating them. AI automation is a tool to get rid of the boring, monotonous, repetitive stuff so that you and your people can focus on what humans are amazing at: thinking strategically, solving creative problems, and making the big decisions.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question. What is the number one repetitive task in your business that you wish you could just make disappear? Think about it for a second. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in.